Good afternoon, everyone. Super happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation. And thank you all for your attention also for this topic. So the name of my presentation is asking basically a question that should a company have an AI strategy? And yes, of course, all companies should consider the opportunities what AI might give and what type of advantages they could gain from AI solutions and systems. But before companies are looking for the AI strategy and how they are operating with AI, they should actually consider how their data strategy is built. Surprisingly, many companies are just quite recently looking into the data strategy and how the data strategy, together with AI strategy, is written in an overall company strategy. So this is something to be careful, to pay attention, to understand how you're doing in this domain. So the second component is also that how far you are with your digital transformation. Digital transformation is the core foundation, how your analog processes are digitalized, and obviously this is a prerequisite to execute AI strategy. So summarizing the first thought, so basically, without the data, the AI is like an engine without the fuel. So fixing your data strategy and having a good quality of data is essential. I will give you a quick story. There was a study or survey done in a kindergarten. And the survey was this type of puzzle ball, different shapes of objects, and how well the kids are executing it. So kids did a study, and the results were quite surprising. There were two types of kids doing this type of puzzle ball study. And the first type of kids are very intelligent. And the second is very strong ones. So using this puzzle ball example is interesting from that perspective, because when you're looking at your AI strategy, then don't force it. You can even find a solution for your AI thoughts, but you can't force the AI strategy to your company. You need to understand what are the core problems and how to solve them. So I will have today 4 thoughts, what I would like to highlight. First is hype. Second is acceleration. Third is overload. And third and fourth component is how we simplify the processes. So when looking at AI strategy and execution in your companies, then I think these 4 keywords are something to consider. So the first keyword is hype. So hype is something where we have extremely high expectations, unreasonable expectations towards some technology. If we're looking today the hype and AI as a buzzword, then I'm pretty sure we are facing a hype phase. To understand the hype, I would give an example using Google Trends. I hope you are familiar with Google Trends. It gives you a good opportunity to monitor different keywords. What are the interest for Google users? I hope you still remember big data hype. So big data was the hype keyword happened approximately 10 years ago. Together with the big data keyword, I have 2 other keywords. I have machine learning and I have data science. Summarizing these 3 keywords, we can say that the big data is an idea and concept, machine learning is a method, and data science is a skill competence. And when we're zooming into this graph regarding these trend lines, then we see that the blue line, the big data, was hyped in the first phase. So everyone was Googling big data, but no one was actually Googling, or really few people were Googling machine learning or the skills and competencies. So it took many, many years before we started to gain more interest towards the machine learning, which is actually the method executing big data, or the data science skills, which are essential to deliver value from the big data. So it's a good example how hype curves can see, and I would call you out also to seek similar trend lines in a Google Trends system. Taking the same slide further and seeing the big data trend and where we are today with the artificial intelligence keyword, then you see that artificial intelligence keyword is multiple times more popular at the moment than the big data has ever been before. So it indicates, again, the hype phase in this area. I have one more keyword. When you think that why artificial intelligence is popular, why it is hyped at the moment, then the reason is actually very, very simple. I think you all have heard ChatGPT and large language model-based solutions. And we're looking at Google Trend chart, then we see that everyone considers actually ChatGPT as the buzzword in this area. Looking more technically to the hype phases, then there is a good graph from Gartner hype cycle. I hope you are familiar with this concept. It basically shows how from technical innovation, the solutions, opportunities are getting more and more popular. They are getting to the hype phase. And after something is hype phase, after we have high expectations, then very often there will be a follow-up emotion, which is disappointment. And we have a slope of enlightenment. We still see that there are some pros and cons, and then we have a normal execution in the last moment. When we're looking at AI, we have a good opportunity to see also the history, to see how we saw the hype phase in 2019, how we saw it in 2020, 21, 22, and now we have reached 2023. And we see that the hype phase and especially generative AI is in a top hype phase at the moment. What is common regarding the hype phase is that when we have a solution or technical components in a high hype phase, then it is really hard to find the balance on making money. There are some companies, some businesses who will take the risks and succeed in it, but majority of us will struggle. So this is something to consider. So to conclude that the keyword hype, we have two situations. One, when we're looking at how we are moving through the hype curve, then I think the winners will be defined after the disappointment will happen, when the real life user opportunities will emerge. And something what is good to consider is that in a high hype phase, we are actually struggling in finding the balance. And this is actually quite normal. We have seen similar situations in the previous trends. The second question is that how fast we are moving through this hype curve, how fast the technology will emerge and how fast it will become a normal everyday solution. And this is the second keyword, acceleration. What we see quite clearly is that the technological innovation is speeding up. Historical innovations, historical new technical products, it took decades for them to emerge, to become mass solutions. When we see modern technical solutions, it took years. And when we see the latest technical trends, then it takes days. When you're looking at ChatGPT, how it reached the masses, the public, then it took a few days to reach millions, few months to reach tens of millions and hundreds of millions of users. So, and I'm pretty sure that the next technical innovation will happen even faster. What are a few things to consider when you're looking at this type of really fast developing technical environment is your risks in getting into the vendor lock. So we should be very careful with choosing our technical platform. I think having a flexible platform and having a flexibility to change the solution components is becoming more and more critical. Many years ago, we considered this type of 3-4 year window optimal. I think at the moment, we should even narrow it down to a shorter period. New technology is making our life easier, but on the same time, it actually increases our dependency in the new technology. So it's a positive thing from one end, but there are some risks involved with it as well. Our dependency is actually becoming an addiction, and there are some risks involved with that one. So this is something definitely to consider. Why we are in this situation? I would highlight 3 components which are generating this type of continuously accelerating situation. First, we have a resource. Is it the energy? Is it the money? But we are all fighting for some resource. The resource is generating a competition, and the competition will increase the complexity. And this type of cycle will continue and continue. And the only thing what is happening with this cycle is that the complexity is growing. So the future will be more complex, more complex or more variety in different sectors than ever before. So this is something to be ready and to acknowledge. So acceleration and more complexity will generate overload. So this is my keyword number 3, overload. Overload is something where we have more than we can manage. There are 2 components. One, when we're looking at analytical perspective, which is primarily my domain, then we see this type of analysis, paralysis situation, where additional information will actually not make our decisions better, will not make our operations more efficient. We are struggling on finding the balance with how we execute the results from analytics. Amount of information is increasing, and current AI trends will increase it even further. There are more information than ever before, but we see that our capability to operate with this information is limited, and we are looking to find some new technical solution. So we see today a trend where our decisions, thanks to additional information, might become also poorer, and this is something to consider. All this is generating us a fundamental shift in how we take responsibility. What is your responsibility? What is my responsibility in everyday operations? I give a good example how the responsibility is changing and how we are actually taking a new roles. Because if you agree with me that the responsibility is changing, then we need to take a new roles and some new processes and new structures in our companies. Have you heard the Apple AirTag? Apple AirTag helps me find my things. I have been using Apple AirTags for many years, and I have it everywhere. If you ask where is my wallet, I don't know. I can check from my phone that the wallet is with me, but I don't know where it is. I have given away the responsibility for the technology, and I have actually reduced my capability to find things without this technology. It's a simple example, but I think there is going to be more and more similar situations where we are giving away the responsibility, and we need to adapt with this change. I made this presentation using AI. AI said my presentation is quite okay, so I hope so. I used a Microsoft Copilot to review my slides, to make summaries and conclusions. So this is all actually giving away the responsibility. Previously, it was fully my responsibility to go through my presentation and be sure that everyone will have an opportunity at least to understand what I'm talking about. Now I'm giving it in somewhat to the technology. So all this change is generating us overhead and more complexity. What we need in the complexity situation is to simplify our solutions. Simplify is most probably the most difficult thing. I have asked the AI solution to find me pictures of croissants. If you look at this picture closely, you see some unlogical things. And my first point is very, very simple. To keep things simple, don't use AI to solve all the problems. It will not help. This is basically this hammer and nail that AI is not the solution for all of your problems. So be sure you're using it for the correct problems. The second thing, what I'm pretty sure is becoming more and more important, is that how good is your foundation, how AI ready you are. I mentioned before that the data is a vital component, but you need to be sure that also your AI ready data is meeting some criteria. We have regarding components regarding data catalog, curating your data, having your metadata, your definitions. More and more important are compliance issues and also the data quality. And data quality in this case does not mean that you need to have 100% data quality, because very often this is very expensive, but you need to understand how good is your data. Few final thoughts. So regarding the simplification, try to make as easy solutions as possible, meeting the shortest route for the solution, because there are a lot of uncertainty involved. So summarizing my 4 thoughts, AI and building an AI strategy in your company is quite a challenge. We are in a very strong hype phase. We see that all the technical innovation is accelerating quite fast and creating more and more complicated scenarios. We see that this is generating us an overload, and obviously only solution is to keep things simple and as easy as possible. The final slide, I asked AI to generate a picture from all of my previous slides, and this is the picture what it generated. I was quite surprised. There was a note with this picture that we are at the moment in this quite complicated maze. There are some short routes and some long winding routes, and how we are making decisions in this complicated environment will define how well we are navigating in this maze. So I wish everyone a good and best navigation routes in this maze and good decisions in AI area. Thank you.
Thank you. Apparently we have a couple of questions. It's a very, very interesting talk. So I will look at workshop and throw a few at you and see what will come up with the answer. So first of all, what do you think? Would AI tools' extensive use increase the accidental complexity so that established systems start to break down and actually lower the quality of service?
Yeah, it might happen, definitely. I think it's a relevant question. And I think this is also one of my point in my presentation, that we need to move in a small steps and validate that we are moving in the right direction. Because, yeah, it's a lot of uncertainty involved. And, yeah, control what you do, I think is very, very important.
Mm-hmm. And I assume you're doing it.
We are trying to do it. It's not easy. There are definitely, because we have, as I mentioned, we have inflated expectations. Mm-hmm. We have sometimes also really hard to measure the actual impact. But we need to make some bets for the future, and I think it's more of a question on how we monitor and how flexible we are in preparing also to change the direction what we have taken, because not all the solutions, not all the models, not all the things what we are developing are the right ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'll throw this last question here. Does any examples come to mind? Can you provide any examples on how you used data and analytics to inform some AI strategy decisions, strategical AI implementation decisions? We've used data for it.
I think it's a longer answer would be, but regarding the strategical decisions, then the strategical decisions very often involve a lot of uncertainty. Mm-hmm. So very precise information is not needed for the strategical decisions. So. But yeah, I think understanding your customer base, understanding the trends in your customer base, finding some new insights, what maybe just a poor descriptive analysis doesn't give you, are definitely the good insight and input for the companies. The first thing where we have started, at least in Telia already many years ago, was regarding visibility. That if we have a good visibility, then it helps us to find the right angles of how to approach also to the strategical decisions. So yeah, there are many this type of hidden features where we see the benefits of AI.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. No more questions at the moment, but I think we'll continue with some of these ideas in the panel later on.
Yes, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
you.